It's enough of that shite. Well, any crack? Sorry, the lighting is so bad. My lighting rig is in my guitar case for doing gigs because I use it as an old phone holder. How are you doing? Maybe that's a bit better. Shite lights in the dark tonight. There's the gold top. How are you, Dr. David? Good to see you. Isaac Whelan, Joel Do, Lee Murphy. Oh, tonight. Can you say MSE on top with a bit of passion? Man Ocean Downer, Simon O'Toole. Good to see you, Lars. Good to see you. Yeah, you know, the production value is not great, but the chat is good. Solid chat. Solid out. I'll give this old camera a bit of an arse wipe. Such powerful chat to be had. How's that? Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, welcome to the power stream, man. Welcome to the power stream. We'll let it fill up. We got 9 people, man. Hit the thumbs up immediately. I want those algorithms to go like this. Woo, 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 woo. Fucking Tim Pool, man. That lad. Now, I'm not going to go into it, but Tim Pool, you know, I'm half Asian. Sorry. Tim Pool, I don't know why. He seems to have done very fucking well. A lad who played for Vice United. I used to work in Vice News. When I worked in Vice News, I used to be on the left. I'm still on the left. Vice News. Fucking, who cares, man? Left, right, it's all nonsense. It's either centralized or decentralized. Well, actually, I don't know, because, okay, just got myself into a bit of a quagmire there. If you're far left or if you're far right, you're off balance. If you're somewhere in the middle, you're all right. As long as you're not going fucking being a prick to someone and being biased and being a bigot or a fucking prejudiced prick, then you're all right. I don't give a fuck what people's beliefs are, you know, in terms of like the acceptable spectrum. Let's just get that out of the way. Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it. Will Smith urged to release the tension. So the title of this video, you know, this is going to be not so much a heavy video tonight, but more of a just talking about what the hell is going on with Ukraine and the boys. I think it's sad times, man, that they finally fucking did it. And it's been, 13 days. First of all, I don't think it's a good idea that Russia Today has been taken off. You can't even go to Russia Today. You can't get it on the internet. And it's good for... Look, there's 3 sides to every story, like I said on the last stream. And if you're only getting one side of the story, then what good is that to you? Just checking out the mic levels there. Put the gain up a bit, man. Put the gain up a bit. Oh, tonight, the gain is up a bit more there now. Heroin with steez. So what's this stream about? Well, it's just more so about like how, just observing the fact that over the past couple of years, social media and news can get millions of people to react to something on an emotional basis. And what I usually do if there's ever something that happens like Ukraine or COVID or any of these big fucking events that happen, and then it's like people putting flags on their bios, it's I usually leave it for about a week or 2 until all the dust settles. And usually when the dust settles, the true narrative comes out. But by the time the true narrative comes out, the horse is already bolted across the fields, and no one cares because the news cycle continues on to something else. Johnny Sideways, Pavel Kornin, how you do? Oh, Pavel Kornin's only one of those bots, man. Today. Sound bit of bot work there, man. You're sick of the news. Fuck Russia and Ukraine, says Heron with steez. Yeah, well, I won't stick on it, but I just wanted to... It's more so about how there's so many people out there who just can't be bothered thinking for themselves. And I think, you know, doing your own research and looking into something beyond the face value of what you presented on the news is how a person should do. And I understand that a lot of people are busy with work. I mean, it's an absolute ripoff nowadays, you know, inflation, fuel prices. And, you know, most people just think they're informed by watching the 6-1 news on RTE or the BBC, or Sky News, and I just want to be a kind of a counterbalance to that. Mitchell Belzen. It's hard not to pick sides when you see maternity hospitals getting bombed, Martin May. Well, Mitchell, do you know did you ever remember the story about the Kuwaiti incubators where they had the Kuwaiti ambassador to America whose niece came in and said that she was witnessing Iraqi soldiers coming into Kuwait throwing babies out of incubators? That didn't happen. But you know what did happen? It caused outrage and a moral panic that then led to the first invasion of Iraq. Because why did the first invasion of Iraq happen? Well, that happened because Kuwait undersold the oil that Iraq was selling to the States. And then when Saddam Hussein went in to do a border adjustment to basically put them in their place for underselling them, like if it happened, it's the same principle as if you had two rival drug dealers, and one drug dealer who had less muscle on the street than the other dealer decided to sell his crack cocaine cheaper than the bigger dealer. The bigger dealer is going to go and send a couple of heavies over there. So this is the thing. Like, did you know that that area is also? And here's where the mental mental gymnastics come into it, because what you have is Zelensky pulled out of the accord to recognize Palestinian sovereignty. Okay, but then you have people who usually have Palestinian flags in their bio outraged about Ukraine. But then here's the other slice of the pie. The Azov battalion, and I mean, the Maidan riots were utilized by football hooligans in 2014. And then you have the Azov battalion that are Nazis. I mean, there was a video with the mayor of this particular city, can't remember his name, with a picture of Stepan Bandero behind him, who was a Nazi leader. So there's so many different facets to this. What the fuck's going on? But if you're only being presented one side of the narrative, then you're only going to be able to make an opinion based on that. So it's mental. Yes, it is mental. So Leo from the Soul Doctors was in a bagpiping trio with Eurovision's Emer Quinn, and one other unidentified person. Fucking hell, man. Emer Quinn. She was the voice of the wind and the pouring rain. Good looking woman for a Bedouin. Let me see. Sean Priest, Bryce Mitchell's take was hilarious. Nobody knows what's going on fully. Yeah, fair play to Bryce Mitchell. He's just a farm. Like this is, and I've seen some of the comments on Bryce Mitchell's interview with Tucker Carlson. Basically, Bryce Mitchell, well, brother, thanks for having me on. He's a farmer, right? And it goes to show you that the comments were from like, someone said, "Oh, the educational system has failed this young man." It's like, or has the educational system failed the lecturer who was telling him he failed with the with the Ukrainian flag in his bio? And that to me basically says that the educational system in third level education especially has failed. They're like an indoctrination camp. And for me personally, I haven't gone to college, but I'm autodidactic. I learn things for myself, and I try to be as discerning as possible and try and be objective. And that's what I was saying about the point of this, was instead of being reactive and reactionary to everything that comes up on social media, maybe it's more important to look at things from three sides: their side, and the overall perspective. Ocean Downer, can you give a shout out to my friend Big Bad Ben, who spent the last 2 weeks hiding from King Hennessy? Well, there you go, man. King Hennessy. Tell him to drop me off a couple of bottles of VSOP. Mitchell Bells, and that's very true, Martin. I feel so bad for both nations. No winners in war. Mitchell, mate, when you think about it, war is a failure of civilization. There is no winners in war. Like, I feel terrible for everyone involved. It was the meddling of fucking neocons like Tory and Newland and Biden, the whole shower of them, and they're basically sending people to fight a war that didn't need to happen. And I look at this conflict with, we now live in a day and age where we have the internet. There are alternative opinions out there and independent journalists that go out of their way to try and be a voice of sanity in this world. Look what happened to Julian Assange. And if you write, like, I remember writing last year about how someone needs to break Assange out of jail, and they're like, "What are you on about, Assange?" It was just, can't remember who it was, but I was like, "What did he do wrong?" People wouldn't have known about the pilot shooting at the Iraqi ambulance driver with kids in the van if it wasn't. There's so many things that came out of WikiLeaks, and then Hillary Clinton lost the election because of it. Justin Scrow, war is the old impotent men sending young virile men off to die. Yeah, it's a rich man's fight, or it's a poor man's fight, rich man's war. And I mean, is there any way of combating this, or are we all on a moving train where we're basically just like small boats in the ocean, and once the tsunami comes in, we're only at the mercy of the tides? I don't know. Eddie Greenhart, would you say that power doesn't come easy and it's hard not to get drunk on? Like I've said it loads of times, like the people who get into politics, it's showbiz for the ugly, and show business is a cutthroat industry as itself. The amount of backstabbing and selling out that can be found, narcissism and egotism that you'll find in show business. The show business alone is a cutthroat industry that is all about the bottom line. If you say anything that goes against anything that you appear in a film that's panned at the box office, your career's toast. And it's a very fickle world where there is no room for sincerity. And I would like to consider myself a very sincere person. Eddie Greenhart said, Aquarius Morn, sorry. So the politics being the show business for the ugly. What your man Bryce Mitchell said about Pelosi and and Biden and all this insider trading. If it was your common man, you would be done for, or trading stocks with inside information. That's insider trading. Anyone else would be done for that. You don't pay your tax, you get done for it. But I don't know, man. I kind of feel a bit frustrated because I'm one man with a small channel trying to say my piece in the corner of the world, and I'd like to think that I'm coming from a place of honesty and compassion, and if it can upset me that all these people are now going to be displaced. Like, imagine 2 weeks ago these people were living in their homes, life was normal, and next thing you've got soldiers from both sides shelling each other, and your home has now been destroyed. It's not only the human side of the war, but also like people's pets, the environment as well. It's I think it was a Polish general who once said that the best day in war, or the worst day in peace, is better than the best day at war. Poontang has us by the balls when it comes to oil and energy. But the thing is it all a script? Are they all just actors, playing their part to usher in the new world order? Do you know what I mean? And people are like, what are you talking about? This is a conspiracy theory. I mean, like, there's been a lot of fucking conspiracy theories that have come to fruition in the last year or two. Eddie Greenhouse says, I always reflect on when Emmett Kerwin spoke on the Late Late Show about going to Trinity with Leo. People are quick to forget. Yeah, they were in Trinity together, were they? Leo, yeah, that's grand. Yeah, if anything happens, with Putin, we'll stand up. Yeah, we'll stand up. What's he gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like that, like the fucking Egypt who rammed the truck through the gates of the Russian embassy because he's been told by the media to be outraged by it. Like, I'm not picking anyone's side in this, but I'm trying to. It's nothing to do with me, but at the same time, I don't want to see more fucking needless suffering and casualties of war. And most of these fucking assholes in the in Parliament of England and American places like this, they're not going to be sending their kids off to war. Bastards. They should be bent over and spanked by hard lads. How are you, Bradley Clancy, man? Darren McKinney, controlled demolition of the Western world. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, it's amazing how Putin got the blame for the inflation, even though that was occurring way before this conflict started. Klaus Schwab. Let's see some of your comments here. Don't leave me hanging, by Ireland. Lose my mind obsessing over it. What was the question here? Neo says war affects people, countries for generations too. It's never a good thing. Just makes more hate. Yeah, I mean, look at Syria. Look at the deep divide now that is in Syria. Look at Iraq. Look at Libya. Right, Libya was one of the most progressive African countries, and apparently Gaddafi was welcoming the refugees into his country and put them in. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently what has happened, the likes of NATO, Hillary Clinton, Sarkozy, David Cameron, they went in there and they destroyed Libya, and now they are selling sub-Saharan African men in slave markets in Tripoli. That's liberation. And here's the thing. The media is responsible. The media was responsible for the last 2 years of fear-mongering, and they're responsible for this war. And Julian Assange even said for the last 50, now 60 years, the media has lied in order, because people don't want war. It goes against, I mean, you imagine if you found yourself in a combat situation and you weren't trained to pull the trigger on another human being. If there's, if war came to your town and you had to defend your town, and you're looking down the barrel of the gun at someone else who's like, your brother's age, your son's age, you're going to pull the trigger and blow his head off. I mean, most people can't do it. So it's, it's just a fucking, man, like, we've learned nothing as a species, and the media is the driving force of all this shit. So managed decline is one way of describing it. Mitchell Balson, like the video, lads. More likes, more people in for chatting and discussion. Good on you, Mitchell. Fight for air. Just call it what it is now. We're getting hit from everywhere. Yeah, we are, man. We're being screwed, and this, it's been going on a long time. And I think the psychopaths who are running the world from the shadows are basically, they have a couple of different things set up like dominoes, ready to usher in their own fucking new world order, and it's like, people might be like, oh, it's very nebulous, but like George Bush Senior talking, oh, and we will be successful with this new world order, and we will be. It won't be the rule of the jungle, it'll be the rule of the law. Dr. David, Micheál Martin doesn't inspire confidence. He reminds me of that substitute teacher who was really conscious of his facial psoriasis. Johnny Thornton, I literally paid a Polish lad €85 to fix my phone. Screen fixed, but no sound. Listening now with the work phone. Fuck's sake, man. Fuck's sake. There have been some allegations the video is true. Who knows? Though either way, violations of the Geneva Convention by Ukrainian army against Russia are big excused by mainstream. Surprised to see. I mean, look, it's basically two Slavic nations going at it. It's like fucking Canada and America murdering each other for. I mean, like, okay, look at Zelensky, right? He is a comedian and an actor who played the role of a man who shoots the Ukrainian Congress with two Uzis, and then he's elected, and it's irresponsible shit, like telling, like, all this kind of like Churchill, we will fight in the forest and on the beaches in the air. It's just like, and then you wonder, like, are they using, because we don't fucking know, because we're only getting one side of the story. And if you trust what the media is telling you, I mean, like the media, it's not going to tell you the truth, and it's foolish to trust. They've lied about so much in the past. Why trust them now? I wouldn't trust the air further out of them. Chris J, you're welcome. Snowy day in Kansas. Hacker metal. The internet has definitely opened up the minds of the masses. With Web3, it's only going to progress. There is resistance there. What's Web3? Keeping the powder dry, Shawnee. I am indeed, hey. Finn Hoare said, if you came to my town, I'd shoot you no bother, hey. Fair fucks. Fair fucks. Matthew Kinnan, every mother, I can't really see what's, oh, here we go. Every mother remarked on his khaki t-shirt being fake ass. The only wars should be fought in the ball alley, baby. Johnny O'Sullivan knows the fucking crack, man. You know, like, wouldn't it be great, right, if the leaders of these countries just had to be jacked and then they went into like an octagon, and then, you know, and all the parliament as well, they were basically, even if they were like skinny, weird looking lads like Chris Whitty, just go into the parliament and just batter each other and have a referee, and they'd be like, just fucking sort it out that way, instead of like sending lads like Chris Perez off to Fallujah. Eddie Greenhart, I was going to say that fact checking should be a national service, but that defeats the purpose. Yeah, fact checking. I mean, it's basically like the Ministry of Truth from 1984. And I don't like using 1984 because it's so cliched, but it is almost like they've taken 1984 as an instruction manual and go, this is great. How can we make this? Can we make these devices that are connected to a central network of surveillance with cameras on them, and then just store every? I mean, look, like if shit goes, like, look, we've seen like the Bolshevik Revolution and the Nazi fucking Gestapo, Pol Pot, Pinochet in Chile. You know what I mean? Like an endless amount of fucking dictators. You know, if it goes, if we lose free speech in terms of the right to express yourself, or if you're a certain speech that was acceptable a year ago then becomes a federal crime, this is a fucking brilliant way to just round any dissident up. I mean, like what the Russians did to the Polish, I can't remember the name of the massacre. Was it Catan massacre? No, what's it called? Yeah, let me see, because this was fucking crazy, man. It was, the Katyn massacre was a series of mass executions of nearly 22,000 Polish military officers and intelligentsia carried out by the Soviet Union, especially the NKVD. Fucking NKVD, man. And the thing is, it was so, like, when you look into the to what it was like living under Stalin, like they just started purging their own. If you had a madman like Stalin comes back again, and you've got people who are basically pro-peace, anti-war, trying to expose it. I mean, you know, people like myself, they're fucked, man. Do you know what I mean? A man Shawnee from Chicago, how are you doing? Vitaly Klitschko would pummel George Weah. Fucking George better be watching out for Vitaly, hey. The two Klitschko brothers, hard dudes with attitudes, kind of groovy, laid-back moods. Shit always rises to the top. You know what, Johnny Sullivan? I've always thought that, because you've got your two different types of shit. You've got your low level shit who are basically just like street thugs and, you know, drug dealer types, you know, like thugs. But then you've got your real cream of the crap that rises to the top, and everyone else to varying degrees is suspended in the middle. But the shit does rise to the top, or the cream of the crap. And Amanda Ranucci gave us The Death of Stalin. It was the funniest history lesson I've ever had. Great insight into old school communism. I haven't seen that, actually. I must watch The Death of Stalin. Cardinal of Flanagan, that massacre was attributed to the Nazis for decades. It was not admitted to have been done by ally Russia until fairly recently. Yeah, that's why the Russian, the Polish have such disdain for Russia. But you know, when you look at how the Russians in the beginning of after Operation Barbarossa, when the Germans surprise attacked Russia, the amount of just how expendable the Russians were. I mean, they would just send wave of like drunk Russians into German machine guns. I mean, like the Wehrmacht was an amazingly efficient, mechanized fighting force. And they didn't even have the supplies to, it often was the case, they didn't even have enough guns to fight with. So someone just drops in front of you, you pick the gun up and keep running. I mean, the disrespect that they had for their own people, sending them into certain death was insane. So like, this is the thing. This is what I try to always bring it back to a humanitarian level. Is in, if your country is, if you as fighting aged men and women now are basically thrown into a war that you didn't agree with, that the other country you're fighting, though the poor in that country didn't agree with, what choice do you have? Like when I think it was, here's another one I got to find out. Trotsky was the one, and I think according to Dr. David was talking to, oh no, it was Chris Pez I was talking to today, was saying that Napoleon was the one who started with cannons behind their own lines, but Trotsky did this in a bridge. Guns behind own lines. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Bear with me now. Talk amongst yourselves. There's a documentary I watched. Like, it's called Fault Lines. That spoke about this. I must rewatch that. I only watched one episode, but basically talks about how most of the conflict in like world wars kind of start in the Balkans, or that's certainly where the First World War started, and that's kind of continued on with the Second World War. I don't know where it is. There was a strategic bridge, a decisive bridge battle. Let me see. But Trotsky was the one who decided to put machine guns behind their own lines, so they would basically, if they were retreating, they'd be shot by their own men. So it was that act of desperation and the will to survive is how they managed to take the bridge. And I think that was a big deciding battle in the war. Five says, watching the old Lord of the Rings battle of the Five Armies, brilliant show. Won't be watching the new BS one. The old Lord of the Ring battle of the Five Armies. Which one was that? Did you see Donald Trump did 50-minute straight interview on the Full Send podcast? No, I didn't see that. No one does go play the toilets like I do. I get 24 carat shitter in my office in Trump Tower. I love that picture of when he tried to do like a photo op with an eagle, but the eagle started flapping around inside the office. He's like, "Oh, get that fucking thing away from me." The Eagle of Liberty was a beautiful brown eagle, beautiful golden eagle, golden brown, textures like sun. Same with Chris Morris. Anyone see Four Lions? What up with Dingy Rapids, mate? Let me see. I know podcast. I know all the best podcast. All the best ones. I will go on any of these jerk off podcasts. I want to grab the podcast better pussy. I'll send your Instagram. Yeah, please do, man. Please do send it on. Liberty made bits of him, hey. Fucking Liberty Eagle. Alex Jones, best podcast. I had Trump on my podcast. We had a great podcast. You let me down, goddammit. Wasn't Alex Jones giving out about him? That was fucking beautiful. Alex Summers, Howie Horace, have you heard from Tordoff? His fans are missing his streams. Lad's a genius. Will you ask him on your streams for the crack? He's not going to come on my stream, man. He wouldn't. He certainly wouldn't do it out of character either. It's not a year since I heard from him. And before that, I think it was about 2 years. Trump's Banjaxed airplane nearly crashed. Oh, fucking Trump, man. Like. All Quiet on the Western Front is a good show. There's a saying that they have in Mayo. You got the Western people, so it's all quiet on the front of the Western. Until it wasn't. The time me and the boys got into trouble for filming in a graveyard. I said to production, I don't think it's a good idea. I didn't get a good vibe on the day. And then it was all over Midwest. Hackametal said, Sixenhammer's a smart man. Enjoy that stream. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. It's good crack. Got a lot of views that did. Well, for a small channel such as this. Was Tordas relative to Jelly Baby? That was his dad, Dave. I'll eat you. I was eyeing my neighbor the other day. I'll eat you. I was eyeing my neighbor the other day. Alex Jones. Brain Force. Yeah, all I wanted to do was just make comedy. And well, funny enough, I started writing this comedy show years ago called Parallel Live, which has been sitting on the shelf and it's pretty much done. But yeah, the old COVID thing came and put that on the back burner. But it'd be nice to get that going again. But yeah, that got me into like doing things. Like there was an episode where a mummy comes to life, and I had to do some research into the pyramids of Giza, and there was before the night before the Battle of Mbeba, Napoleon said that he wanted to spend the night in the King's Chamber in the Grand Pyramid, and apparently he saw something that scared the shit out of him, and he saw his own defeat. And when he came out the next morning, he was all pale and shook, and he never spoke about it till his dying day. Spooky. Yeah, so then I got really into the pyramids, and then I was like, isn't it funny how the pyramids line up with Orion's belt? And then you kind of think there's a lot of things around the world, like Easter Island. Like Easter Island, should I say, has. I'm an island boy. Like the heads have bodies. There's. I often think have humanity just constantly had this like cycle of technology, like blowing itself into like the Stone Age, then gradually rebuilding until technology reaches a critical phase, and then due to just the opulence of the ruling class being handed everything and corruption, then it leads to war, then it leads to kind of total destruction, and then maybe the descendants of those politicians and the worst types who get away are the ones that then respawn the earth. I don't know, man. I don't know. Joaquin playing Napoleon in Ridley Scott film. Is that going ahead? Is it? Levins have been here since the year dot, said Eddie Greenhart. But yeah, sometimes I come on before I do these streams. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking really talk about this, and then when I come on, I kind of forget what I'm gonna say. But then if I write like cliff notes about what it's gonna be, I'm like, I just read them off. But what are you gonna do? Hit the thumbs up. Hey, subscribe and smash that like button if you like Maloney's Digest. Yeah, I'm not reading that out, Neo. That's very naughty. No, that was what Aloysius Lavin said. Any money in Sweden for a comic writer like yourself? Do you know what, man? I've never. I don't know what it is with me in Sweden. It's I think I've got some sort of PTSD from my early years here in Sweden, where it was just working with Swedes. I was like, I don't know if I could work with Swedes, man. They'd have to be very juicy, fucking good crack Swedes. But yeah, a lot of the Swedes you get up in Dalarna are good fun. They're usually they're like the Irish of Sweden, and they have a reputation for being mad bastards. The Swedish have a different type of humor. It's very dry humor. They'd be like, "Oh, I was in IKEA today. Oh, I got myself some shelves. Yeah, I put it together. Real nice." The Stockholm crowd, no fun. There's a lot of sound Swedes, to be fair to them. Like there is, it's just that the thing is with Swedes, it takes a very long time to get to know them, and once you know them, you're friends for life. Then, they're quite a private bunch. One thing I noticed years ago is you can go out and have a really raucous piss up with a Swede, and you wouldn't see them the next day unless you were actually on location with them somewhere, like you had to go somewhere. But like, I think that the Swedes, after a session, they need the next day just to reflect in solitude by eating takeaway pizza, a can of Coke, and watching some mindless shite on TV. I don't know, man. Aren't Swedes very stoic? They're fairly stoic. Geez, check out some of these bots in the chat, man. We got Sienna Williamson. What a nice name. Like, they're not even proper links, man. Like, what happens if you like copy and paste that link? Nothing, man. Nothing. Private hangover wank. Social Vikings. Yeah, they probably just needed to get the venom out, man. Just have a wank. Any dating advice you can give? I'm meeting a girl who doesn't like sports, but she's a smooth bird. Don't know, man. Dating advice. Play it by ear, you know. I don't know. It's a bit vague, Christine. It's a bit vague. Cup of tea and a wank, be grand. It's like the time of Peep Show where they said a cup of soup is like a hug in a mug or a wank in a packet. Yeah, so I like the way this went from being like a proposed, analysis of the fucking Ukrainian system to talking about wanking. You know, that's just the way life goes, man. But yeah, look, regarding that, look, I don't want to fucking harp on about that. I don't know what's going on over there. But one half of me was thinking, what if I just like did like a GoFundMe and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go over there and try and do some honest reporting. And then I was thinking, yeah, but like there's a big chance some fucking lunatics could just go, Nyet. And then they'd be like, oh no Series 5 Hardy books ever. Well, without, or there'd be in honor of Martin Maloney, we're gonna do Series 5 Hardy books. But no bumming. I don't know, Sean. I don't know. Dammy Joe. Where's the best place to bring a lass in Stockholm for a date? Take her out to the old Hellas Garden. If the lake is frozen over, hop into the sauna and then fucking jump into the lake that's frozen over, then back into the sauna and bring drink with you. That'd be sound, man. My cat died today, crushed by a bale of silage. AOR. Sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear that. World Peas, my man. Kidnapped by Russian fans of Hardy Books. It is Eddie Durkin, hey. Yeah, but it'd be. But the thing is, like, my mate Breffney Morgan is over in Russia, but I don't even know if has Facebook like cut WhatsApp off. I mean, I think it's just really fucking stupid of the West. It's like Instagram and all these like social media platforms have just cut off any connection to Russians. I mean, like, it's not the Russians' fault that their two countries just fucking went on the piss, you know. And it's like, I think people in the West would like to hear what people have to say. I tried to watch some Russia Today videos today. Looks like the Viper won't be going on there anytime soon, and it looks like they've just like sacked, or everyone had to leave. So you've just got like about two lads broadcasting, and they're using the robot voice. So I was like, wow. WhatsApp still works. All right, I might give Breffney Morgan a shout and see how he's doing. He might come on for the old chat. Dr. David, I once drank to the point where I nearly suffered a broken rear valve, fell asleep in the back of a taxi, woke up just in time. I sprinted to a rose bush, but I tell you this, 'twas a photo finish. Did you see Stephen Kelly had the Guinness guru down? He made Big Mick look like Small Mick. That's a big Irishman, hey. It's funny because Ireland has a real mix of people of all different sizes. Like a friend of mine, Porrick, over here, I said to him the other night, I was like, do you ever consider becoming a jockey? I say he's about 7 stone and he works in the tunnel doing 14 12-hour days consecutively. Then he gets the 2 weeks off. And I was like, the 2 weeks off, that sounds fucking sound. But the 2 weeks on would be awful. And then you'd spend like 4 days of the 2 weeks off dreading the 2 weeks in the tunnel. Wouldn't be for me, man. It just wouldn't be for me. McDonald's burgers going in Russia for 300 quid. I seen that Victoria's Secret, there was something on Reddit today of Russian women, Russian singles in your area, but Russian women queuing to buy Victoria's Secret clothing. But then, you know, wouldn't be a fan of old Victoria's Secret because it was owned by Les Wexner of L Brands, who was the man behind Epstein. So no loss. Good lad, hey, how's it wheeling? How's Russian boys? The Guinness Gimp, says Shawnee. Tell you one thing, man, he's a big fucking lad. He must be about 6'8", Tyson Fury job. Dr. David, jockeys are incentivized by Ladbrokes to become bulimic. Take this fucking speed, boys. Speed ballers. Dean Hennessy, it'll be the sweetest victory. Big Mix American Dreamers. Yeah, more like Big Mix American Creamers. Pez smoking a strain called Bubba Fett. It's amazing the way you American lads can just go and buy bowls, smoke bowls all day. Bowls of the Mary Jane. Sweet cherry pie, just like Grandma used to make. So Shawnee or Chris Perez, he's been working very hard on the Blazing Budgets film. Myself, himself, Sampino, and Stephen the Cowboy Kelly did. So it's looking good. It'll be very funny. Neo, going to be tons of lawsuits when it becomes legal, if it ever does. What's this? Bubba Fett, is that it? What's I got to see what the crack is with Bubba Fett. Is this some sort of like mad strain? What's the deal? What is the deal? Bubba Fett weed strain. Why Colorado tokers love this strain? It's been there for quite a while, man. It's been there for quite a bit. Let's read about it. Why Colorado tokers love Bubba Fett. If Disney and its horde of lawyers served Colorado cannabis companies with lawsuits and cease and desist orders for Star Wars ripoffs, as the Girl Scouts of America and Gorilla Glue did for strains named after their respective brands, nearly every pot menu in Denver would be affected. Skywalker OG, Death Star, and Princess Leia are easy to find in dispensaries, with Ewok, Jedi Kush, and Boba Fett popping up intermittently as well. Boba Fett, named after Boba Fett, a bounty hunter in Star Wars, might be able to sneak by Mickey because of its first name, but the strain is fetching quite the reward across the mile-high galaxy. Born in Boulder's Green Dream cannabis cultivation, Bubba Fett is an indica dominant hybrid with pre-98 Bubba Kush and Straw Dog genetics. Not to be confused with Boba Fett or Bubba Fett OG, two indica dominant hybrids with completely different lineages. Bubba Fett is currently a Colorado-only strain. Although pre-98 Bubba is known for his relatively high CBD percentage, Bubba Fett is THC yielder through and through. It's routinely one of the highest testers on the shelf at Buddy Boy and Lightshade dispensaries. Like old Bubba, the Fett has extremely sedative effects. Even at night, this strain can be easily overdone. With the motivation to brush your teeth, take the dog out, I know that one, or put leftovers in the fridge, all hanging in the balance after a puff or two. Be sure to have your pre-sleep chores done before lighting up, or you'll wake up in a shameful, slovenly state. Well, now I know more. Boba Fett. Great stuff. Awesome. If you can't piss yourself at home, there's something wrong with the world. Got that one right, Eddie. And I grow weed, lol. Lights come on in 45 minutes. How about those low riders I hear it all about? Hot knives. I remember catching my sisters as teenagers. When we lived in England, I'd always find like our kitchen knives on top of the back gate door, and I would always be bringing these knives into my mum, going, "Why are these knives always burned, and why are they hidden up by the back of the entry door? Fucking what are they at with those fucking knives?" But hot knives, man. I don't know how I didn't think of that when I was a teenager. Back in the day, myself and the boys, be trying to take like a Robinson's High Juice bottle, put the tinfoil on it, put the holes in it, put the weed in. Well, it was usually shit hash, and then doing bongs through a bucket. But yeah, not for the faint of lunged, I tell you that. Neo, weed articles are lame as fuck. I mean, some job, isn't it? Just being like a weed critic. Psycho Paul would piss him. Indeed. Didn't have Martin down as a snitch. Well, I wasn't snitching. I was like, why are your knives? You know that sentimental value. that you have when something from your home is outside the home as a kid. And I was like, these are my mum's knives. Why are they out here? And why are the tips burned? So, yeah. Robbie Heenan, man, Robbie. Herb is allegedly illegal in Georgia. You wouldn't know it from the dude smoking blunts on every corner in Atlanta. It's like Ireland, man. Everyone smokes in Ireland. It's just fucking everywhere. Like, there's Luke says there's a video of a Sky News reporter speaking to a Ukrainian refugee, and all he cares about is whether weed is legal in the UK. Oh man, I gotta check that out. Is it legal in UK? Sky is weed. One man asked, "Was weed legal?" Oh, here we go. Let's see. Okay, I can't hear it, but I'll put the subtitles on. Let me see. Let's just take a quick inside before. Just get a quick. Yes. Does anyone speak English here? Yeah. Hi. What was it like in where you've just come from airplane or somewhere else on Circle? Like when you're here. Okay. Don't worry. Okay, we're very stressed. Tell me quickly. Are you all right? I'm all right. How many people trapped in there? Legalized. Ah, it's not even. It's not even putting that bit up. It's not even putting that bit up, man. Closed captions didn't want me to tell you what was going on. Dr. David, I'm going to give up smoking. I find when I do knickknacks these days, the house owner catches me before I get to the front gate. Oh ho ho. Legal weed in my country is 5 times more expensive and shittier than black market shit, says Neo. Wow. Watered down. Neo, only a few massive companies own 80% of the whole market. They selling dried popcorn, swag for high prices. I go to Michigan occasionally, says Sean. A town called Dowagiac. Yeah, I mean, some people, I suppose, here's what I was talking to a mate of mine about some fella he met years ago who was growing weed in Amsterdam. And I was like, well, who's growing the weed in Amsterdam? But apparently to grow it and cultivate it on a mass scale is illegal. So I'm like, well, how the hell does that work? Like, whenever they're bringing these large quantities of weed from these growing houses or these fields, how are they not intercepted by law? It's very strange. It's very strange. I was in Christiania years ago, and someone was like, when I was 20, I was hanging out in Trinity College, and a couple of sound boys were talking about Christiania in Copenhagen, which is like a free state in the middle of the city. So when we were coming up from Greece, like 2003, I was like, oh wow, we're going to Christiania, and I thought it was going to be full of like loads of nice hippie guys who were like, this is a real nice, creamy blonde pollen, or this is a nice white widow or whatever. But it was just loads of really muscle bound, fucking tattooed lads and stray dogs everywhere, and it wasn't like a nice in the center of it anyway. It was pretty dodge, man. It's pretty dodge. Some dodgy folk there. Neo, make weed illegal again. Haha, the people hoping for federal legalization. Be careful what you wish for. Heroin with steez. What watch is that you're wearing? Looks nice. Oh, I got that in the Cayman Islands back in the day. It's a Tissot. They're not in the world of watches. They're pretty cheap, man. It's not like a Breitling or a what is it, Elba or one of these lads. It's just a Tissot, man. It's basically a fancy swatch. The prices here in Michigan are crazy low, and the quality pretty great. It's like they give it away. I have a freezer full of nonsense. Yeah, it's funny. Like in Sweden, man, they're very, very, very against it. You can't be doing that stuff. But like, it's on the rise big time. But they still have like, I think the way Portugal handles it, like the way where basically if you do get caught with it, they just say to you, okay, do you need to discuss this with someone? Are you addicted? And they treat it like obviously A lot of people turn to substances because it's a form of self-medication, and everyone has a poison, and a lot of these legislators who would be, or these police would probably enjoy drinking wine or getting pissed. And to be fair, like, the majority of stupid shit people do happens when they're drunk. And even more when people are drunk and on the fucking schnock. Pesbar Productions. How the hell can I buy a nitrous balloon in Sweden, but not weed? It's wild. Yeah, there's a whole. I don't know if they've like now cracked down on that, but yeah, there's just fucking noz and balloons everywhere. And I went into a Max burger place, which is basically like a Swedish McDonald's, and there's just people just going, "There's people like this." Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Probably because they're used in, they're basically, it's like lighter fuel. People are gonna hoof lighter fuel, but like you also need lighter fuel to fill up lighters the same way you do if you want to whip the cream into a nice frothy mixture. You got to use those whippets. And if you're making party balloons, well, actually, they sell it in. There's a shop in town where they sell it for like 400 crowns, which is about $45. You can just go in there and get a tube of that, and you see people just hanging out with this big blue canister with balloons, just sitting there getting fucking gassed out of it. My mate, Mitchell Belson, said, my mate had a stroke at 28 from the balloons. How is he now after that? I mean, effectively, I mean, like I had this discussion with someone on Reddit, and someone was like, "What are all these things lying around in Dublin?" I was like, and I said, well, they're basically it's nitrous oxide, which is heavier than oxygen, and in some shape or form, I don't know if it starves the brain of oxygen. Don't know, man. It's because it's so you got helium, which is lighter than oxygen, but then nitrogen is. You know what? While we're here, we can look it up. Why? Let's see. How does NOS affect your brain? NPS. What is it? NO2. Is NO2 toxic to humans? The irritating the upper respiratory tract and lungs, even at lower concentrations. So only 1 or 2 breaths at very high concentration can cause severe toxicity. Odor is general and adequate warning. Doesn't say. How does it affect the brain? Okay, here we go. How does it affect your brain? When you inhale nitrous oxide, it displaces the air in your lungs and prevents. Yeah, I was right, man. Some fucking know-it-all on Reddit rebutted it. It displaces the air in your lungs and prevents oxygen from reaching your brain and blood. As a result of this oxygen deprivation, you might get the giggles. Some people might even experience mild hallucinations. So I was fucking right, man. Do you know, like, what can you do? Yeah. So basically, what you're doing is okay. What to say here in the comment section? If it wasn't for confiscating teenagers' hard-won weed, guards wouldn't have much to do. In fact, it's pretty much all they're able for, not real crime, which no one trusts them with. True enough. For about 10 seconds, just laughed your tits off. Pulls the oxygen out of, sort of. You can sometimes see people's lips turn blue. Wow. Let me see. Shout out to Liam Blake and Milton Malby. Milton Malby is a nice old spot. What's this discussion here about some sort of growing stuff in prisons? That sounds like the herb they do all the official testing on in the US, grown outdoors at a Mississippi prison. The licensed producers here have already gotten caught using banned pesticides. Oh, but legalization was for our safety. Load of shit. Yeah, I mean, hello there, T from Offaly. The thing is, you're probably the likelihood of someone like Monsanto getting in on growing weeds, you know, that's very high. Plus, again, big business comes into it, and then the profit comes into it, and then it's the best thing is you just have some nice hippie folk. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Justin. The first super chat of the night. Thank you very much. The thing is with it's like anything else, you want to find someone who does it as a labor of love, and if they start having these dispensaries that become basically the Walmart of weed, then you're gonna get shitty products. But if you have someone that prides themselves on good quality produce, see that's the thing when if like with people who buy weed from um unlicensed vendors, like people on the street, they're it's like going into a bar and every all the brands, like it's like going into a whiskey bar and then being like, what's that? And it says it's Jameson, but it might be fucking proper 12, but or like not just whiskey but any beverage, saying, oh, that's vodka, that's beer, and it's like you don't know who's made it, where it's come from, and you're just trusting that what it is you're consuming is what it says on the tin. Bad Sprinkler, did Russia really bomb maternity ward, Martin? What do we? I don't know, man. Like I seen that earlier on, and it's like the fog of war, man. Like you don't know, but I do know one thing. If you start, okay, that's another thing I meant to talk to. Zelensky gave out 40,000 Kalashnikov machine guns, and apparently, long before the Russians came anywhere near Kiev, all the gang members of rival gangs were fucking shooting each other in the street to settle scores. And I saw a video of like two guys who set up a checkpoint. Apparently, there's a lot of these guys who are criminals setting up their own checkpoints and robbing people fleeing because they're going to be leaving. Thank you very much for the super chat, Patrick, mate. You're a good fucking generous lad. Fair play to you. But yeah, apparently I saw a video of like two guys. They weren't dressed in any military outfit. They block the street with guns. Car stops. They go in, pull the guy out. The guy runs, and then they shoot the guy in the legs. So I was like, well, just and then it's just not a fucking good look. And then these lads who are going over to fight this, what looks like a fucking oligarch and a Western-backed war. No one's like, it's just people online just think this started on the 24th of February. It started in I don't know, April of 2014 or whenever it started. I have hate, love nothing. Lol, I almost want someone to donate rubles. Wouldn't that be nice? Legend Marty, love the chats. Cheers, Patrick, mate. Appreciate that. Robbie Heenan, that's everything these days. Oh, Neo, there's ex-chiefs of police and career officers who spent their whole career locking people up for weed, who now own big companies and major stocks in some of the companies. Yeah, fucking hypocrites, man. What about that guy who wasn't there a thing in Pennsylvania of a guy who was locking up people for really petty offenses just because he was in cahoots with this private prison? I mean, I don't know how many people are incarcerated in the States, but it's fucking crazy, man. Grave diggers and those who sold the weapons grow rich. Yeah, it's like when I was younger, like when I was like 18 to about 22, I'd watch so many Hollywood movies like Predator and Platoon, and all these films that kind of glamorized warfare, and I was like, yeah, man, I'd love to be. Oh, thanks very much, Sean. Here's 2 trillion rubles for you. Glad, Shawnee, and you're a fucking good lad. Hey, God bless you. Yeah, so I kind of just fucking fell for all the glossy Hollywood propaganda. And it's only when you kind of when you get to a certain age, like that. That's why the army recruits young men, because your brain isn't fully formed until you're about 25, and even then, I don't know. It's like, I think for me it was about 34, or maybe even fucking 2 years ago. I don't know, but basically, when you get older, you're like, it's like when you look at young lads who are, they're fucking acting daft like teenagers and they're behaving like fucking wankers. I'd see some around Stockholm and you're looking at them and you're going, yeah, you're tough boys now, hard lads. But then when you get to my age and you have kids, you'll be looking at the lads going, cop on, boys. What are you fucking doing? And that's the thing. Dr. Davis said Rambo First Blood was voiced in an Irish by Ty O'Shea. Bucklish, no, Bucklish. Yeah. So that be the crack. Any more Hardy book chapters coming soon? Hey, love that, man. Yeah, I was going. I attempted yesterday to do it, but the form wasn't good, and I had to be out to do to play some music. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. So tomorrow, if I have time, I'm gonna try and catch up and get that out because it's fucking funny, man. It really is. If I do say so myself, if I do say so myself. Red Dawn and Iron Eagle. I haven't seen them, but I've heard about. They made a remake of Red Dawn, which was basically the. Isn't it funny when you look at Modern Warfare 2 and all the Russian crack? It's almost like they fucking groomed lads for it. What's it say here? Neo, if you don't want to smack the fuck out of yourself, former self, you ain't growing, maturing, ha ha ha. Got that one right. Anyone read The Chimp Paradox? Great insight into how the mind works overall. I've heard of that, Eddie. I heard of that. Alien versus Redditor. Reddit is one of those. It's even worse than Twitter, man, because there are mods deleting posts. You're not going to have a very nuanced discussion on Reddit, or else that fucking soft prick with the deer being like, remember that? Fucking, he'd want to be sent off to fucking Ukraine. Reddit is a shithole. It's just censored just as much as mainstream media. Yeah, it's you just want to have honesty. Do you know what I mean? Like authenticity. I keep saying it, but that's what Kramer versus Predator. Wasn't that in Family Guy? Jerry Adams is doing IRASMR on YouTube. You see Britney Spears. She's half naked on Instagram these days, says Pez Power Productions. Yeah, she's holding up well. She's holding up well now, fair play to her. I heard a load of Outreach lads were heading off to Kharkiv to help the fight. Fucking told us how to build the walls. Then he told us how to fucking knock the walls down. They give us fucking £60 a week then to drink pints and play on fruit machines. 20 bucks to the old lady then just for making me dinners and washing me fucking clothes. It's sad these days people can't have a debate or convo with someone with a different opinion without literally hating each other. Yeah, but that's the internet, man, as well. And it's easy to get kind of drawn into the internet as being real life. There's a lot of people who spend too much fucking time on the internet. Too much fucking time. I do myself. Eddie Greenheart, Owen Colgan is over there bricklaying for them. 20 walls up already. He's fucking building them before they can knock them down. Cardinal Flanagan, hands all covered in hand cream and the like. Oh, slip your fingers. Hail of nothing. Russia is wasting time, but the why is what I wonder about. Don't know, man. If that guy, what's his name, Gonzalo Lira, he's a Chilean American lad he had a channel called Coach Red Pill. I only discovered him there, but if what he says is correct, and that Putin wanted to go in there and just basically take out the government, then it's not working out. And there was also talk about Xi Jinping saying, Putin, hey, don't go in there while the Olympics is on, because I don't want them not to be looking at the Olympics, which I never bothered looking at anyway. So they reckon that maybe well, I mean, look, they've been given a whole lot of fucking Javelin and Stinger missiles, so it's, they're fucking armed to the teeth. And even before they started the war, even before Putin fucking went in, Canada and the States were just giving them, and the UK were just giving them shitloads of weapons. So, they've been armed to the teeth before this shit even kicked off. And all it is Poor lads in Russia and fighting poor lads in Ukraine. Oh, look, Kane Calhoun. Yeah, Kane Calhoun. The bot Calhoun. That's a cool name, though. I mean, are these generated by like some sort of bot that just takes random names and puts them together? Kane Calhoun. Sounds like some sort of fucking WWF character. NATO been expanding. You got that one right, TC. I know how to fire a javelin. Good man, Chrissy Perez. But you know how to fucking open a tin. Only joking, Chris. Hey, only joking. When Chris Perez was staying here at the house, just get it like couldn't sleep all night listening to the sound of you rolling around in the bunk bed, and then you get up at like 5:30 in the morning and take a shower and listen to a podcast at full blast. I was like, can you please just turn the podcast down, man? Oh, sorry. You put the brackets around the target and then hit the trigger. I don't know. I don't really speak to Tordoff anymore. So I don't think no one's really heard from him. I heard he's fucking living in Moscow now. One time, bro. One time. Yeah, it's like a video game. I mean, like they had to make it very user friendly. Very user friendly. One shower with a podcast. Eddie Green, how to fire a javelin. Hold L2 to lock and press R2 to fire. Yeah, the trigger is like a PS2. I often wondered if they changed steering wheels in cars to like a PS like controller, would it be easier to drive? But then you'd be like, oh, my thumb. So probably not. Has anyone played Gran Turismo yet? I'd love to have a PS5, but I just can't fucking afford one. I just can't. How much are they these days? Let's see. PS5 price. 5,000 crowns. What's the cheapest one? What's the price with that? Yeah, this fucking price yak Swedish site was the one that got me fucking. Oh yeah, Days Gone. You can pick it up for 200 crowns. Then I got signed up to Zentorno. Can everyone do me a favor? If you've got a little bit of time, just go into zentorno.com at Trustpilot and just say they're fucking cowboy bastards. Just zentorno.com. You know, I will try and find Zentorno. Just if you can just be like, fuck these guys, man. Just write a load of. Take 5 minutes just to write a really fucking nuanced fuck you to these guys. So I'll put the link in because they're cowboys and they cumulatively took fucking 300 quid off me. So I was like, oh nice. I bought Days Gone for like 200 crowns and it was like 700 crowns, which is like 70 euro on the PlayStation store. And then PlayStation Now took it off and I was like, and I could have got it free earlier on if I'd known that. But yeah, just give them a bit of shit there, please. I'd like that. The price and the PS Plus is mad. Graham Russell, all right, mate. Frenchie is a grass and the G like grenada tonight. All right, look at them. The jealousy just oozing out of them. Just skulky little hanging around, writing Frenchie is a grass. I live in Birkenhead, and I've got a load of pitties and rotties. Do you get me? Just to make sure I keep safe. The canine touch. Do you get me? Yeah? Do you get me? Dean Hennessy, PS3 still going strong. But don't mind that soft shite PS5. Yeah, my PS3 fucking died there a couple of years ago. So I've still got it in the basement. I saw it today, actually, when looking at some stuff. I went trying to find a cable adapter for my effects pedal. Couldn't fucking find it, man. But I did find the other little switch pedal so I can turn my Boss RC fucking 3 into an RC 30 loop pedal. Bit of fucking guitar jargon there for you. But it'll just be easier if I'm playing a loop when I'm trying to play music. Sometimes I haven't had the time to figure it out and like I rarely bring the guitar home with the gear. So like if I'm playing a loop, I'm like, and then I kind of miss it by a minute sometimes. And then I'll be like, here's Hotel California, time to do the solo. And then it'll be either like too loud or too low. And I need to actually figure out what the hell's going on with it. You have the original PS3 from 2008. I bet you got your PS fucking 1. I know Tordov does. The PlayStation 5 makes you sterile. Neo, I still have SNES and NES and all that shit, but doubt they still work. The games are old as fuck. Oh, they'll work, hey. Cartridges. They'll fucking work. Eddie Greenheart, PS5 is worth the upgrade, if you ask me. Days Gone stops looking like a slideshow. Yeah, it'd be great to play Days Gone on the PS5. But can you just basically continue off with the PS4 game that you played? Because, I mean, it's a great game, man. But I don't know if it could be fucking arsed redoing it. I never did complete Fallout 4 or The Witcher 3 because I did so many side quests and then didn't play it for a while and then forgot what was going on. So I kind of like RPGs, great crack, but if you don't play them for a while, you forget what they're all about. Dean Hennessy, PS Juan is the Spanish console designer. It's a fucking good one, Dean. Like that one. Yeah, usually you can import your save. Oh, fucking sound, man. Sound. Pastor Sprinkler, 3000. The old lady told me, put down the games and pick up a book. She's a smart old lady, hey. But saying that, she never grew up playing fucking Gran Turismo. Has anyone played Gran Turismo yet? The Dreamcast franchise was bought by Tony Yeboah in 2013. I wish him well. I wish him well. The Dreamcast was a bit shite, wasn't it? But it was one of the first, like, 32-bit lads. I hate trying to go back to games and forgot how to play. Yeah, that's shite as well. Might get GT7 after Cyberpunk. Like, Cyberpunk's been out for ages. Is that any good? Because that was Project CD Red who did that. The makers of Witcher. I can't stop listening to psyop music. Darren McKinney, I was the same with Witcher 3. Just wouldn't have been bothered to restart the story. Yeah, I mean, I've got about 8 hours left of it. But it'd be nice if you could have like a previously on The Witcher, and it gives you a recap of what you've been at over the course of the game. GTA 6 starring Purple Aki and Stephen French. I'm on Sean, mate. Yeah, that'd be fucking hard, lads. GTA Liverpool. Hate nothing. Hate, love nothing. One game I plan on playing is Far Cry. Just wouldn't have been bothered to restart the story. One game, Elder Ring is a porn genre. Oh, Dr. David, man. Fucking, what was it? Omar. That was like some franchise of like gilfs getting nailed by young dudes. I don't know about it, but I remember being in a pawn shop. Just went in there when I was like 18. There was all these in Dublin. It was called Utopia, and there was another one down the street called Utopia 2. But there was like this thing called Omar's, and I just picked it up and I was looking at it. It was loads of like owl ones getting diddled. More power to them. Did they get a few bob for the day out? I don't know. Aaron Mustiz, in the story, you get to feel muscles of random kids and get them to squat. You as Purple Aki. Purple Aki's muscle simulator. Danny Dyer just loves to go around Liberty City looking for hard men. I mean, real men. You feel the man oozing at him. Classic. Heard it from a mate. Walk back. Oh, sorry. The 750i is a fine machine. It is indeed. But the 730 is a workhorse, Danny. Hit the thumbs up, man. It's 37 in the mix. Let's try and get up to 50. Try and get up to 50. I'm going to have to head off because I got to get the kids up. Who's ringing me now? Tom Kilgallen. He's going to be on the stream now without realising it. How are you doing, Tom?
You in bed?
No, I'm just doing a live stream, mate.
Oh, fuck, I'll leave you at it.
Hey, but you know what? At least you finally appeared on the stream.
Right.
I'll give you a bell.
Hello, everyone. Good luck, Martin.
Good luck now, Tommy. Good luck.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
Hear you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. He wasn't long skedaddling then. Fucking hell, man. You nearly knocked me spark out. Maltique. It was in the SAS, but his Irish roots are very important to him. I can see in his garden, our family is very, very important to Maltique. You look at the crazed man who does all the fighting and the army stuff, but also is a very happily married man. Gang of cons, just like in these vids. That guy from Taken will find you and will kill you. Hate, love nothing. I tell you what's very funny, actually. I watched on the Jimmy Dore show. There's this lad who gets in to do Liam Neeson impressions, and he speaks like Liam Neeson. It goes up like this, and it goes down again like that. Ukraine war combat footage from Kiev area. War leaks. What's going on there? Let's have a little look at this. Not much there. Not much there. I can't be fucked watching that. Personal shite. Can't be fucking arsed. Let me see. Where is this now? Fucking Door. Liam Neeson. It's very funny. I'll put this on now. I'll put this into the chat, so have a watch of this later on. Have a little chat of this. Well, Jimmy, yes, I'll go over there to St. Petersburg. This fucking it's just laden with loads of good solid gags. You ever hear the song "Get Your Brits Out"? Get your Brits out for the lads. Come on, we can get up to 40, man. There's 36 of you. There's 37 likes. Just press the chat button X and then hit the little thumb, and then just bring it up there a touch, lads. Go on. Grid Rain, how are you getting on, hey? What's it say here? It says, oh, we got to 40. Go on, give us the 50. Go on, give us the boost. Cost you nothing, lads. Cost you nothing. Only a bit of thumb work. I'm addicted to liveuamap.com. What's that? Liveuamap. Liveuamap.com. Liveuamap.com. Universal Awareness Map is leading independent global news and information site dedicated to factual reporting. Okay, let's have a look at this. What's going on? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, now I understand it. Now it's the one that monitors how many. President Zelensky in a new video debunked Russian propaganda. The whole world know that Ukraine had not developed chemical, biological war weapons of any mass destruction. Meta platforms will allow Facebook and Instagram users in some countries to call for violence against Russians and Russian soldiers in the context of Ukraine invasion, according to emails seen by Reuters, in a temporary change to its hate speech policy. Do you know what, man? Facebook has a lot to answer for. It has a lot to answer for. Liam Neeson offers, I will negotiate with the man. I will indeed. I am an actor. And he goes, yeah, but what about the war in Yemen, Liam? I am not aware of Yemen. Send Perpalachi over the front line. The war will be over. And he knows a lot about law and legislation. Let me see. Boom, boom, boys. Yeah, let's see what else is going on in the Ukraine interactive map. Yeah, but like fucking Zuckerberg, man, and Facebook, they were the ones who started. Like, they were instrumental in the Arab Spring and the whole fucking pandemic thing, man. The amount of censorship and bollocks around that. People were fucking fooled, man. We're fucking fooled, hey, fooled. And a lot of people are now fucking skinned and have no idea what the hell's going on. Fooled, hey, fooled. Old fucking Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum. He's a fool, hey. He's a fool. It makes you wonder, right? Just ask yourself this question. Klaus Schwab, the bald cue ball guy who looks like a stereotypical Bond villain. It makes you wonder, right? Why this random dude has all these world leaders coming to him. I mean, like, how did that happen? Like, imagine if I was like, all right, I'm gonna start like the Swinford conference and hold a big delegation of, captains of industry and world leaders in the Gateway Hotel in Swinford and be like, now we're going to bring on Mark Zuckerberg. If I started holding these meetings, no one would come. But for some reason, some Swiss fucking cue ball starts saying, lads, come along here and we'll discuss the world, and everyone goes to it. So it's like, he must have some clout. Do you know what I mean? He'll get fucking bummed if I ever get a hold of him. I will bum him. I will find him and I will bum him. Hate Love Nothing. WWE3, I'm not sure, but the warmongers want an endless well. Yeah, they do, man. It's like they just want them all. A big fight in Europe. They'd love a bit of that, man. They'd love a bit of that. If you sat down with stateside for an evening, the war would end immediately. Putin and stateside, he'd be like, "Have you seen that video of Vladimir Putin singing Blueberry Hill? I found my freedom on the blueberry hill, on the blueberry hill." Do you know what? I saw a video of that today, right? And it's just like whenever you never hear Putin speaking in English, right? Because you sound like this when he's speaking English. And there was a video from like years ago, man. It was like 2002. CNN was like walking around as gaff. You walking here? I'll see if I can get that up, man. CNN. Let me see. Let's fucking see what's going on here. Let me see. I fucking see what's going on here. YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. A lot of time. CNN, Putin's house. Oh, of course, like it's just you can't find anything. 2001, I think it was. 2 days ago. Obviously, doesn't matter if you. Sorry to bother you. CNN obtains audio of Russians calling Ukrainian hotline. Did it really? I mean, who the fuck trusts them dickheads? You know what I mean? They're just their credibility is it's with dog shite. That's what it is. Dog shite. Putin speaking in English. You'll find that much on him speaking English. Maybe this is the one. I don't know. No, I don't know. But anyway, look, I'll leave it there because I've got to be up early in the morning with the young fellas and the young girdline, and we'll have the crack then. Russian Kermit the Frog. I have a certain skillet. I have a certain skill set involving a bumming. You will be bummed. I'm giving you the chance now. Stop the pub talk and in Davos, or I will bum you. I will bum your henchman, and I'm not even gay. CNN got that tape, but what was to say here? CNN got that tape, but not the golden shower one. Funny that, isn't it? Send Davy Joyce over. He'll flatten him. Shite in the bucket. No, this is a message going out to you, Simey. Squeak, or a low voice, I call you. You say you're the king of this and the king of that, but you're the king of dog shite. Watch your stones. Oh, Kelly Putin. Barson Field. Good luck, Martin. Hey, take care, and hope to see you at the Hardy Book chapter and stream soon, pal. Thanks very much. Yeah, it will be out. I'm going to try and get it done tomorrow, but I'm going to try and get to the gym for the first time in fucking months. It's not going to be fun. And then hopefully later on, I want to get back into the fucking training at All Stars crack as well. I might go down there because Darren Till's down there. I was like, Darren, mate. And he'd be like, oh, like, yeah, mate, yeah, fucking Owen Colgan did a little fucking interview there with you, yeah, mate. And I'd be like, sweet. Justin's Crow, I got to attend to my dinner, my friends. Always a pleasure. Look forward to next time. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Liam Neeson's call. Liam Neeson calls out Simey O'Donnell. Putin is due a bully ramming, says Dr. David. Darren McKinney, the king of dog shite, has to be the funniest insult I've ever heard. There was another one. Anyone ask Liam his thoughts on BLM? Buy large mansions. There was another one of this lad. I think it was one of the Stokeses from Longford talking about this fella called Grey Bernie, and he's like, "No, Grey Bernie, I had your wife's wobbly arse up on that fucking table there, and I gave it to her hard style, and she was screaming out. I did that, Grey Bernie. Your wife's big blobby arse up on that fucking table." And I was like, Grey Bernie's not going to like this. I'll see if I can get that Grey Bernie video up as well. It's just, this is stuff that you can watch later on in your own time. at your own pleasure. Stokes. Hey, Bernie. Some Bernie Sanders stuff will come up. Bernie Stokes, intimate interview. She's all right. I was right about Bernie. Who's this? Bernie Stokes, intimate interview. Bernie Stokes is Ireland's top medium and clairvoyant. She has a legion of fans and perhaps as many detractors. Is she the real deal? That is for you to decide. I know what I felt. Jessie O'Neill says, she is amazing. Everything she said to me was true. I never believed in anything like this until I spoke to her. She's absolutely amazing. STHFGDBY says, she's talking with demons. It's called familiar demons. The Bible refers to it. Hey, Jessie, how are you? Says Hope Walsh. David McGowan says, I didn't believe any of this stuff till 3 days ago. She's a lovely woman. I knows exactly what she's saying, everything. She's pure truth. Amanda Wilton, I thought she was very good. I was pleasantly surprised. Highly recommended her. Jane Phillips, very true. She knows her stuff. She's honest and not a fake. Martin O.D., she's not a sham. I was in her show last night. She's 100% true. Steve Burke, what a load of crap. There's a lot going on the internet, lad. A lot of different opinions. Yeah, okay. That's that anyway. Right. I'll have to fucking love you and leave you now. Amanda Hugginkis. Carla Flanagan, re-elect president weekend, Bernie's 2024. Herman Stees, if you see Dad and tell him he's scared of Achi. Oh, he might have even had his muscles squoze one time outside St. John's Shopping Centre. Weekend at Bummies. Stevie Coughlin, how are you doing, Steve? Stevie, I'd love to get you on the show, mate. You're a good lad. How about tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow night. I was going to get this lad Hotep Jesus on, so I need to email him and ask him if he's available. So tomorrow would be a good time. But I will get in touch with me on Instagram, Stevie. And if you have the time tomorrow, come on, man. It'd be good to have a chat about the world around you. See what your worldview is on everything. You know, cut through the nonsense with some logic and reason, and it'd be good crack. Hotep, the Grift Master. Yeah, so we're going to have to get him on. He said he'll do it, but I'd done me back in there last Friday, so I couldn't do it. Gustafson, armbar, incoming. Oh, ho, ho. Right, until we speak again, hopefully tomorrow night. So be ready for that. I'd say around 10 to 11 Central European time. 1 hour difference, GMT. And then if you're going over the East Coast, man, 6 hours the difference. So if I'm going out around fucking 10, 11, you're talking 4 or 5 local time. Okay, dudes. Peace and love to you all. Peace and love. Fair play to you. Good chatting to you. Thanks for the dialogue. Chat to you soon. Good luck and bless. Chuck your lore.